If you fall asleep and you wake up more tired in the morning than when you woke up, your adrenal glands are typically not keeping you in a nice deep sleep state. So we can improve sleep by upping your menstran, not just at night, but even through the day. So we're going to prepare your body to come in for a landing at night for you to get a good night's sleep. You know, when people lay down, they think, oh, I should be tired. I should just pass right out. It doesn't work that way. Hi guys, this is Dr. Aaron Chapa at the Wellness Podcast. I'm so happy that you guys are tuning in to living better, staying better, and performing better because you deserve it. Your family wants you to be your best. You want you to be your best. And no one likes suffering with symptoms, especially symptoms like fatigue or anxiety or trouble sleeping. I mean, have you ever tried to get through a day or power through a day after a terrible night of sleep? That's no fun. Right? Or knowing that you got a big project tomorrow that you have to present for and you are already tossing and turning and it's 2:00 in the morning and you cannot fall asleep. How are you going to be your best, right? If you fail this project tomorrow and you now can't sleep to get a good night's rest, what can you do? What's the cause? What's happening that might be things in your power to control? And I want you to know that every symptom that you have, whether it's anxiety, whether it's overwhelm, whether it's I can't sleep, I can't fall asleep, can't stay asleep, wake up at night to pee, there is an answer and there is a tool. There is a way that you can perform your best. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about the adrenal glands, the stress management hub of the body. So when you are choosing to live better, be better, and stay better, let me just tell you, the adrenal glands are at the top of my list. If somebody asked me, Dr. Chapa, you can't talk about bowels today because you always talk about poop. Okay, got it. You can't talk about liver today because you always say the liver's the giver and we can always work on people and improve their health via the liver. So here's what I'll tell you. If that is the case, my third system that is a go-to every time that I work on a patient is going to be evaluating the adrenal glands. Say it with me. The adrenal glands, they're your stress management system. They're your life-giving restorative system. They're going to help your body get into a deep sleep state system. They're going to help your body manage the stresses of the day system. They're going to help you get in front of that presentation board and knock a home run system. So when we look at the adrenal glands affect everything. It is very, very difficult to just say, this one little or gland, we don't need it. You can't live without these guys. They are the first gland developed in utero, which is pretty powerful. It is why women have postpartum because their adrenal glands were wrecked going into pregnancy. And so by going into pregnancy already pre-wrecked, guess what happens? They have a opportunity now to mooch on their baby's adrenal glands. And then when the baby is born and they didn't take the time to fix their adrenals, guess who has now wrecked adrenal glands again? Mom. And guess who now crashes because now she's not getting sleep. The baby's pulling on her through milk. The baby's pulling on her through other just managerial stresses of responsibility. And if she's not hitting her wellness curve recovery points, she is going to start feeling those adrenals need go up and they're not going to be there to take care of her. So we have to get into the adrenals and turn them on, breathe life into them. I remember being a student at the chiropractic college and literally, guy walks up to me and says, look around, guy. Look around. You see all these guys? I said, yeah. He goes, how many of these people have tissue boxes in front of them? I said, a lot of them. He goes, why is that? I said, they're all sick. He goes, why? I said, I don't know. He goes, stress. I said, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. It's finals, right? So I'm like, okay, yeah, we all have had finals and we have to study, cram, do all the things in order to go up and take this test and then go to take the next test in finals week. Everybody's sick the week of and during the week of finals and the week after finals from the adrenal letdown and the adrenal stress of going through the process. So think about that for a second. This guy then shows me and goes, let me tell you how to fix that. And he showed me a way. And that was through adrenal restoration, taking care of my adrenal glands. Number one food for your adrenal glands, vitamin C. Vitamin C is not manufactured in your body. Many B vitamins are. Many amino acids are manufactured. You eat food, your body breaks it down, it assimilates it into what you need, it gets rid of what it doesn't, and it takes those necessary building blocks and builds into healthy regenerative cells that produce adequate function, whether it's a hormone or an electrolyte or some sort of additional mineral need to power up the tissue, right? Well, vitamin C you get from nature. And most people today that are taking high-dose vitamin C don't realize it, but they're taking one fragment of that C and they're putting it into their body at this mega dose, which then stresses your adrenal glands out even more. It stresses digestive valves even more, called your ileocecal valve. And so you have to be careful. It's not as simple as, hey, just take some C because it's the number one adrenal food. It's which type of vitamin C? We use food grade C. It's a Premier Research Labs vitamin C. It's a Cataplex C from Standard Process, food grade. It has tyrosinase in it. It has vitamins P, K, and J in it. It has the raw building block of ascorbic acid, flavonoids, bioflavonoids, cofactors, and other microconstituents because it's food that we don't even know what it is, because it's not been discovered yet. We can see that there's things there, but we don't have the technology to appreciate what God intended for you to consume in the form of citrus, for example, or rutin, for example. And we want you to see that food is medicine, and you've got to make sure that it's more than just taking a supplement to fix it. It's knowing which supplements to take and which systems need the support. In this case, we don't want you suffering through finals if you're under the gun, or deadlines if you're under the gun, or in pregnancy. By the way, you have to support your adrenal glands even all the more. You're supporting 2 lives, right? So we want to make sure that your endocrine system is strong and mighty. That is really good. I remember another time I was sitting in a seminar and one of the doctors gets up on stage and he's doing a demonstration on adrenal stress and he wants to show us some things. So one of the things he says is there any students in the room? And of course, I jovially raise my hand and go up to the front, and he says, come on down. He lays me down on the table. He starts doing some functional testing where he takes my blood pressure lying and standing, and my blood pressure adrenal number dropped. So that systolic number, if you're ever doing blood pressure, you take your standard test, right? You got the systolic, the diastolic, and the pulse, right? Well, if you lay down and you get those same 3 numbers, and you wait 3 minutes, take the blood pressure, then you stand up. If the systolic number, the top number, drops to if it drops 8 to 10 points, it's really bad. If it stays the same, lying to standing, it's not good. And if it goes up just a little bit, you could do better. We want an 8 to 10 point rise in all 3, systolic, diastolic, and pulse. The systolic number will tell you health of the adrenal glands, functionality. Are you able to get blood to your head? That's one of the jobs of the adrenal glands. If you walk outside right now and you go, oh, the light is so bright, that's an adrenal issue. The pupillary reflex in the eye can't keep your pupils constricted so that you can manage in light. And now the light is actually overstimulating to your nervous system, and it wears you out, makes you tired, makes you squint, gets you a headache, and all the other things, right? So anyway, he does this number, and my number was up just a little, not much, so I definitely was low. Then he does a couple other cool tests, and he says, ha, 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 look at this, guys. We got us a student. And, of course, his adrenals are wrecked. Because when you go into a doctorate-level program, guess what? It's like breathing underwater. It's very difficult, and it's very stressful. And so my system at this point in time was wrecked and worn out, but the cool thing is I never needed an antibiotic through school, and that's because of the power of structural alignments. That's because of the power of supplementation for stress management and immune boosting that this guy had introduced me to. But still, I was still deficient. So I had somebody else look at it. This guy's making fun of me, poking at me, which is fun. You know, I don't mind being the butt of a joke every now and again. And he finds that I need more adrenal support. I needed more B vitamins. I needed more C. I needed to wash the adrenals, and I needed to wash the lymphatics and get those systems to operate better. Sometimes when you have congestion in the lines because you're not eating well or you're not drinking enough fluids and you're dehydrated, your body will clog up. Well, just like your sidewalk needs to be power washed from time to time, just like your car needs to be washed, so does your body need to wash itself. Your brain needs to wash itself. Your adrenal glands need to be overhauled and nourished, maintenance, so to speak. And this is okay. Is it okay for you, though? How many times do you expect so much out of your body, but you don't do the right things to care for it? If you are a binge drinker, if you're drinking every night, alcohol, if you're eating processed food, if you're eating carbohydrate food, if you're eating artificial sugars, if you're taking in too many carbohydrates and wrecking your blood sugar, your adrenal glands are taking a beating. That means you have some work to do. So I want to encourage you to not beat up on those adrenal glands. Serve them. Take care of them. Go above and beyond for them, because that is the third system. I'm telling you, you take care of your digestion, your liver, and your adrenal glands. It is a recipe for success. Your body will perform at levels unbeknownst to your current state. You don't realize right now how bad you feel. But if you have low energy, if you have mental clarity issues, brain fog, for example, your adrenal glands are at fault. People ask me all the time, well, what does the adrenal glands do? It's really, what don't they do? What part of the watch tells time? All of it. So it's really hard to isolate systems in the body because they all synergize together. They all know how to work with each other and to support each other. When one system is weaker than the next, somebody else can pull some weight. For example, if your hormones are out of balance, guess what? Progesterone low, testosterone not high enough, your estrogen levels are dominating your system, it could be an issue of adrenal stress. What you don't realize is your body will actually take sex hormones. So if you have no libido and you have no drive and you have no focus, your body will take all your sex hormones, what we call your potency hormones, and it will convert them into stress hormones like cortisol, like epinephrine, like adrenaline. And those hormones will literally become catabolic, and meaning that they are destructive to cells. They are causing an erosion to begin to happen in your digestive lining. So a high cortisol, high adrenaline count shuts off digestion. So now you're going to have you're going to be digesting food, but you're going to break it down. It's going to be like a brick in your stomach. You're not going to break it down well because you don't have the capacity to manage the stress and digest at the same time. So your adrenal glands, have you heard the concept fight or flight? If you're always easily agitated, short fused, if your body is really just on edge and you're feeling anxious or nervous or worse, panicky, afraid of heights, abnormal, irrational fears. I've had patients come in, they're afraid to drive over bridges. I've had patients come in and tell me and they know they're irrational. They know it. They tell me, this is the most irrational thing I'm about to tell you, but I'm afraid that somebody's going to come in the front door and start shooting the place up right here in our little city. And I go, wow, that's pretty intense. And they say, that's the way it is all the time. I go to bed afraid. I wake up afraid. And these are good, prayerful people. But they can't get these thoughts out their head. And I'm a firm believer, Philippians 4, 6, and 7, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart, your mind, and in Christ Jesus. So I'm a firm believer in Scripture. But what if the thoughts just keep bombarding you faster than you can say, I love you? I mean, is that your fault? Is that your lack of faith? Or is that a biochemical glitch? And it takes you doing some work and maintenance on your body to take the bull by the horns. That's what I'm teaching you, is that you can take your health more serious and you can start dictating how your body performs if you start having irrationality or anxious, overwhelming thoughts or inability to think clearly and find the next name, number, or word in your recollection so that you can speak clearly. I want you to understand your adrenal glands play a major role in this. So this is a huge, huge game that we want to play. So what if you don't recover well after workouts? Let's say that you work out and you're always sleepy after you work out. And it's like, I thought exercise was good. I thought it was supposed to give me energy. You're supposed to, burn energy to make energy is kind of how the body works. And this is what the books say anyway. But what if that's not happening for you? Well, don't worry. It's your adrenal glands. You take the adrenals seriously and your recovery will go up. And if you baby these adrenals, if you nurture them, if you stimulate them right, not with caffeine, not with alcohol, not with stimulants and uppers, not with sugar, but with food, nourishment, the body will begin to serve you in such a way that if you eat food, by the way, that swims, that flies, that grows out of the ground, that grows off of the trees, that is living, that doesn't have a food label, your adrenal glands are going to get benefit. Okay? If you eat green leafy vegetables, you're going to get benefit. Your body needs nourishment. And so when you start having these wacko symptoms, and you eat, and even if you think your diet is well, I've had people come in and tell me they live off their garden, 75% of their garden in their backyard. I'm like, that's awesome. That's less than 1% of the people out there. Most people come in, they have symptoms. They have headaches. They have problems getting out of bed in the morning. They have issues falling asleep at night. They can't stay asleep at night to get a good night's rest and recovery. And these are all indicator lights that your adrenal glands are suffering, that your adrenal glands are behind schedule, that your adrenal glands can't keep up with your workload. That means your adrenal glands can't keep your sex hormones stable and balanced. So now you're infertile, or you have no sex drive. Or worse, you have no drive for life, no purpose. And that's an interesting thought. So you're telling me, Doc, that if I take care of my adrenals, I will find purpose? Yeah, for sure. Because when the adrenals are firing like they're supposed to, you're able to quiet the storms that are floating around in your head. Now, let me back up, though. I am still a firm believer every day. Lord, when I got a bunch of chatter in my mind, I pray, Lord, silence the chatter in my mind. Because sometimes it hits me too. But again, when you have adequate minerals, when you have adequate adrenal support, you can quickly support the chemistry and allow it to settle down. And so you're going to get your prayers answered better, because you're taking two means of attack, biochemical and spiritual. I think that's a wonderful way to lean into the gift for which God has given us in the form of nutrition and food and supplementation and lifestyle. Remember, one bite at a time, you can live better, be better, and stay better. One bite at a time, one supplement at a time. We just need to build the right plan for you so that you feel your best, live your best, and perform your best. I never come on the show or go into the treatment room without some ribonucleic acid. This is just Miracle Grow for the brain. I want my brain and I want my adrenals strong. I didn't bring my adrenal product in today, but my little triad would be OptiForce, would be the Mintran, and would be the Nevaton. The OptiForce is high dose ashwagandha, rhodiola, holy basil. The Mintran is calcium and magnesium for mineral tranquilizer. That's what it stands for. And the Nevaton is 4 herbs: skullcap, saffron, St. John's, and schisandra. And these herbs calm the brain. The minerals settle the nerves, and the adrenal glands, the OptiForce settles the adrenals and helps you handle your biochemistry at 3 levels. If I could increase your bandwidth, if I could settle the nerves in your hands and feet, if I could take better care of your adrenal glands in such a way that your body performs like it's supposed to, within 10 to 15 minutes, I could get your system calm, cool, and collected, where you can think about the message that you want to speak. So like if you think about your brain and you go, I'm all over the place, Dr. Chapa, I'm ADD, I'm ADHD. Guess what? All that means is that your brain is processing information so it's coming at you so fast you can't slow it down fast enough to process it. That is an adrenal indicator. That is a neural indicator that you are pushing into what we call fight or flight. You're not thinking, you're not responsive, you're reacting. And so we want to get you responding to your world around you. And so the other thing that helps the adrenal glands is a good balanced blood sugar control, insulin levels being low on your blood panels. If you're not looking at your blood work at the sodium, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium ratios, if you're not looking at the adrenal glands from just an immune issue, like how much immune burden are you carrying, or toxicity load. If you're not looking at our toxicity scores and managing those under 20 on a test that you should really get less than a 10 on, if you're not under a 20 or heading close to a 10, you got work to do. And so we know that your body is breaking down. My body's breaking down. Nobody gets out of here alive. But we can control gracefully the aging curve if we will support the body. So I use herbs. I love rhodiola. I love holy basil. I love ashwagandha. I love these tools because they give me insight and an ability to teach people how to take care of the system itself. Of course, guess what else is in there? The full complex of vitamin C. So I may use that Premier C. I may use that Cataplex C if their adrenals are really wrecked. And you would really know because they can't get out of bed. They're really, frankly, depressed. Or they bruise easily. Or they have a lot of brain fog and they just seem to walk to the mailbox makes them huff and puff like that constant deep breath or that occasional deep sigh of relief. These are indicators that the adrenals are behind schedule. If you work out, like I said earlier, and you get sleepy after you work out and it didn't charge you up, that's an indication that your adrenal glands are being overstressed and you're not going to get the recovery that you want. So when people come in with adrenal issues, it could be that they're coming in with a thyroid problem and it's an adrenal issue. They could come in with ADD and ADHD and it could be an adrenal problem. These kids today, for example, people go, well, why would a kid have so much stress? Well, I don't know. Maybe the parents are too high strung. Maybe they're so type A, they are just stealing the joy of childhood out of them. I don't know. But what if they're just being bullied at school? Or what if they just have test anxiety and they just don't know why they can't stay focused and chill while they're reading test questions because they feel that they're going to have to please somebody at home or please their teacher? There's a number of reasons, but I'm not worried about those reasons as much as can I upregulate? Can I turn on? Can I boost up the adrenal response to be more responsive, to be quicker on the draw so that your body doesn't shift into overwhelm? It is responding to life and keeping things at bay in a healthy processed way. So when I look at saliva test and I see high cortisol numbers or low cortisol numbers, I know that the adrenals are really confused. They don't even know when to produce their own hormone anymore. And this is all good information to help patients see that they got work to do. And we all got work to do, right? I mean, no one is completely symptom-free, although we want to all believe it. Like some mornings, I might be on a metal detox and I'm getting my body to purge out different things out of the blood. And I might wake up with some headaches. Well, you think I like headaches? No way. But as I get going, I drink my water, I go for a walk, I do my morning routine, I can fight through it, and within about 30 minutes, it's gone. That doesn't happen all the time, but that's an indicator that I got some work to do somewhere in my body. What indicators are you having as an experience that you need to pay better attention to? If you have been feeling great and you go on a trip to somewheres and then you come back and you are sick, that means that you found either a bug, you caught something on the travels, which means your immune system was weaker than you thought, or your adrenals got stressed on the trip and you were susceptible. Without healthy adrenal glands, you cannot be healthy. Your immune system will be weak. And so the adrenal system, the stress management system, needs to be turned on and needs to be balanced out, and it needs to be fed every day, all the time, regularly. So do you think I supplement my adrenals regularly? Absolutely. Remember, Nevaton, it's on every nightstand in my house, every nightstand. It's on every backpack. Why? Because if my girls or my son go off to school and they kind of get overwhelmed, I need them to have a tool in their bag to help them process their emotions. If they are playing a week of, at camps and stuff, and they're real busy, they need recovery, they need adrenal support, I'll use the Cataplex C, or I'll use the Adaptocrine or the OptiForce to help nurture those adrenal glands. And we just need to find out which one works good for you, right? And everybody's a little bit different. Everybody needs a little bit different level of stimulation depending on if you're just a little bit fatigued or if you're chronically fatigued. Now remember, just as a little side note on that note, if you fall asleep and you wake up more tired in the morning than when you woke up, your adrenal glands are typically not keeping you in a nice deep sleep state. So we can improve sleep by upping your Mentran, not just at night, but even through the day. So we're going to prepare your body to come in for a landing at night for you to get a good night's sleep. When people lay down, they think, oh, I should be tired. I should just pass right out. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so your body turns dials and adjusts thises and that's and gets the hormones balanced out in order to make sure that the body can shut down appropriately and perform during the sleep cycle all the necessary functions that it does when you sleep. Do you know that your brain, when you're sleeping, is legally insane for like 8 hours? It's pretty wild. And so if you watch insanity, you're going to feel a little bit crazy, and your brain is doing amazing things, filing yesterday's information away so that you can remember it tomorrow. Your brain is taking a bath. Oops, I should have walked in on that. That was kind of weird, right? And but when you're sleeping deep, when you're hitting those deep REM sleep states, your body's recovering, it's restoring, it's bathing, it's preparing you for a better tomorrow. So the adrenal glands would be my third system to knock out of the park when it comes to strengthening, when it comes to building, when it comes to maximizing my overall health trend. And so the adrenal glands absolutely can be supported. They can be restored. I don't care how fatigued. The worst story that ever came in, lady was so fatigued. I mean, she just generally couldn't get out of bed. I had to have more phone consults with her more than we saw her in person. We had the good fortune. Her husband was able to work with her and keep the kids healthy while she goes and spends a month at mom's. Mom and dad's lived in the country, and she basically slept the first week for darn near 18 hours a day. That's how fatigued she was. And she needed complete and utter rest. The next week, she was getting about 11 to 12 hours of sleep. The next week, she was 8 to 9 hours. And then by the fourth week, she was, in that 6 to 8 hour zone, and she was doing just fine. And of course, we were supplementing her heavily with adrenal food, adrenal nourishment, keeping her grain-free, dairy-free. We got her sugars out completely. We were supporting every function of mineral we could throw into her mix to help her body use that rest time to recover and regenerate, and it worked. So not all of us have the ability to just take a month off, and I get that, but she was an extreme case. Most people, the engine's running, you got deadlines to hit, and you are flying by the seat of your pants trying to figure out how to make things work, and your stresses are redlining, they're through the roof, and they are burning you out. If you will take the bull by the horns and do a little bit of self-care, whether it's a good 30-minute exercise program, whether it's get your water intake up, whether it's work on sleep. Let us teach you how to sleep better using kava as an herb or Nevaton as a calming agent to get your body to shut down appropriately neurologically, or minerals just to give your body some breathing room to allow function to shift those dials into sleep states. We will see an improvement even in your busy world. So I don't want you to feel like you have to check out to have healthy adrenal glands, but I want you to be very tuned in to the idea that your adrenal glands will serve you and care for you in a great and mighty way. So when it comes to adrenal function, balance your blood sugar. When it comes to adrenal function, we want to see we'll see an improvement in blood pressure. When it comes to adrenal function, we'll see an improvement in thyroid activity or sex hormone production or mental clarity or recovery and restoration. And when I work on patients, I'm always looking for these underlying cues, and I'm listening to the story to make sure that we are not just seeing a benefit in their one symptom, but all symptoms that we evaluate and address, what their blood work look like, or what their symptoms, their toxicity scores look like. And we are constantly pushing people to choose food over disease. If you eat make-believe food, the best you'll ever have is make-believe health. And I was talking to a patient yesterday. What you eat's important, and this is important. What you don't eat is more important. If you're eating fake food, make-believe food, and the best you're ever going to get is make-believe health, why would you expect energy? Why would you expect the ADD to go away or the symptoms of fatigue to go away? If you go to bed more and wake up more tired than you went to sleep, your adrenals need help. Let us help you and teach you and train you to be your best and feel your best each and every day, because your life matters. So I encourage you, choose life, choose health. It's your health. It's your choice. So let's make good choices when it comes to diet, when it comes to exercise, when it comes to how we think and who we hang around with. And let's get around people that want to lift us up. So you guys be blessed on the Dr. Chapa podcast today, and we will see you next time.